I know I haven't been on for a couple of weeks. Things have been going on, and every time I wanted to come on, I couldn't get to it or anything else. But anyway, I'm on today. I finally made it. Okay, I'm going to let you know what's been going on for next week. We're going to have fried fish from New Orleans. I figured I'm going to give you some of the ingredients. This is calling for red snapper or white fish that we're going to be cooking. And it's going to be deep batter fried, which is interesting how it's going to be done. And they want to serve it with a pasta and green onion salad, which I was looking at. Let me see. So it'd be different. And that has pasta with green onions, mayonnaise, salt, and pepper to taste. So that would be different for us to try. So why not? Like I said, I have a lot of recipes. Over 200 cookbooks, so believe you me, there's a lot. Okay, this one is, I know it's early and people are, school and everything's going, but that's all right. Now this is skillet chicken with cranberry vinegar sauce, which I thought would be nice. Now they recommend with this dish that we make to have broccoli florets, which would be very, very interesting, and they want a rice pilaf with a shower of herbs. So that'll be very different from everything that we've had. And like I said, I'll be getting to the soups and stuff soon enough, but at least I'm moving out of hamburgers and salads and stuff to have meat in them. By the way, that tuna was delicious. I didn't think it was going to turn out that well, but it turned out very, very nice. Now this one is a pasta cooked in a garlicky tomato sauce, which is different from other things that we have done. So we're going to try that, but I think I want to serve it with cube steaks. I'm just going to give you a rundown of what we have. I know nobody's on right now, but that's understandable. So I understand school and everything else is going on. Now this one I really want to try. This one is sausages with potatoes and hot peppers, so it's going to be on the spicy side, which will be interesting. This one has, let's see, has pepperoncinis in it. They also have pepperoncini flakes. I don't have those, so I'm going to be able to use something else. What's the biggest you've had before? Excuse me? Hello, everybody. So that's going to be interesting. It's got a lot of hot peppers in it. So we're definitely going to know the heat on that one. And this one I found in my casserole book. You'll probably say, how many? I've moved into the computer room with my cookbooks. That's how many I have. Thank you. I'm done cooking. Well, I want to make pomegranate jelly. I'm thinking of this only because I had to use pomegranate in the dish that I made today, and I've got a big bottle of it because that was the only size they had. So I was wondering maybe I should try making jelly out of the rest of it and see how it comes out. Now this recipe has scallops, mushroom, and rice in a cream sauce, and it's a casserole dish, so I think it'll be I don't know what any of you are talking about except hello and that I'm not cooking right now. All right, so I'm sorry. I do not know what you're talking about. So if you're talking to each other, whatever you're saying, I don't know, and I'm just going to bypass. If you're being vulgar, be vulgar on your own time. I'm not there, and I'm not going to join you on it. And if that sounds rude, I really don't care. Okay, so if you have something to say, you want to be vulgar, please leave the channel. It's not something that this channel does, and I don't care. I think, where could I get the positivity from? Well, let's say I went through trying to drinking because I was angry with God. That didn't work. I got tired of vomiting. It didn't even last 3 weeks. I can cook with it, but I don't drink. I tried smoking marijuana, and I had the hell scared out of me, and I never touched that. And I realized my sanity and my life is in God's hands, and I'll run to Him. It's safer with Him than without Him. I've always been on a positive note, knowing that I'm His daughter. I'm God's daughter and His child, no matter how old I get. This is how I believe, and I think that's it, is I keep Him in that positive frame mind. I don't go to places that are real negative. Once you see a demon, believe you me, you straighten up in a hurry. I have been married. I have had a boyfriend. No more. As my girlfriends and I say, because we're all in our 70s and late 60s, we say that door is closed. I'm 72. Oh, I know. So I'm 72 years old, and next year I'm going to be 73, and I just keep on going. Now, you sit there and you say about my looks and that I'm beautiful. The thing is I've been caring for my skin and my health. This is what this whole cooking channel is, how to eat properly and care for yourself. A lot of people don't believe that, but that's what I do. I decided the best person to experiment on would be myself. Yes, I know a lot of people say. And that is, health is what you're seeing, really. You eat well throughout your whole life. I explain how the body works, how the cells, their life expectancy, and how if you don't eat right when they're changing each cell, because it takes 7 years for every cell in your body to be replaced, that if you don't eat well during that time, the cells that go to replace are not as healthy as the cells before. And this is what gives you your health. You have to eat proper every day. So I take recipes and tear them up, make them more nutritious, and then show you how to make them more nutritious. A lot of women also today don't like cooking, which is a sad situation. They want something quick and fast, and they sit there and they buy things that are pre-made, and it's got preservatives in it which affect the bodies, and you don't know about the chemicals. I spent a whole night looking those up. Can I be a mod? What about fasting? I can't fast, man. Halfway through yesterday I did. I didn't believe yesterday. I am doing well. Are you talking, can you be a model? Gaining, let's see, gaining weight. There's a lot of things that you can eat that can gain weight on you, but the body is built to a structure of the weight that it's going to be, and you should allow the body to do what it has to be for its self-preservation. The more weight you put on, when you get older, you will find out you will have more medical problems. So weight is very important. I'm not saying you to be skinny like a rail, but what I'm talking about is that the body do what it has to do and care for itself when you're living in that body, because I believe that this is my temple and I live here. Hey Bart, how are you? I use Natura Magic, Natura. Next word is Magic, Natura Magic. What it is, it's peanut oil, olive oil, lanolin, and rose water, and I've been using it for most of my life. But I don't use creams. I use oils on my face. Oh, for cooking? I don't really know. You can eat more at the table, all right? But the thing is that If you stuff it, you could end up with acid reflux in time. In other words, you have so much food in your stomach, it goes up your esophagus and it becomes a burning acid. You can eat a lot of small meals, but there's nothing, not an easy meal that can put weight on. You can go to the place, they call them health food, but they're not. They have a lot of stuff that deals with sports. Drinks that you can take, I don't know them because I don't deal in that section. You could try that. My son tried it for a while and I looked at him and said, "What are you trying to do that? Do you know what that does with your hormones?" See, that's the thing you have to worry about are the hormones, because they're giving you hormones that they give cows to get fat. So it's going to cause a problem with your body. This is why I can't give you a simple recipe that will put the weight on. Just eat more. I guess that's the best thing to do. I don't drink liquor. I cook with it, but I don't drink it. Well, my son says, "You like cojito?" I said, "Shh." I like that, but I don't get that very often. Uh, there's no easy food recipe to gain weight. Natural, no, take the L off. Natura, then Magic. That's it. And you get it from Bar. It's a Bar product, BAAR. That's the place where you get it from. Another thing is that this recipe comes directly from the ARE, which is the Association of Research and Enlightenment. It came through a reading from Edgar Cayce. And it's not a cream. It's just known as Natural Magic. So just drop the L off natural and drop the S off of Magics. Oh, I was answering for somebody else. Bart, I was actually talking to I can't see it because they will scroll up, so there's no way I can see what it is. Okay? So I know you know the story, but this person was asking. So that's where you get that from. But BAAR, they have a magazine. If you Google it, you'll see Bar come up, and then you can look in there and you'll find Natural Magic. Okay, any more questions? And I'm sorry I cannot tell you any more about weight. I don't want to give you something that's going to make you sick or that's going to throw your hormones out. And that's what they do with these power drinks is what they call. They're usually sold. I've seen them in a health food store, but I don't walk into that section because I'm not interested in it. No. Believe you me, my mother was a tyrant. I got whipped every day, like my brothers. And then on Saturday, she whipped us for general principle for everything she didn't catch us doing. If when you did drink alcohol. Oh, I tried beer. What else did I try? I tried some hard liquor. And I upchucked all the time. I was not happy with it. At that time, teenagers could get what they want. And then I had these two guys who were making liquor. They said, "Sandy, come and try it." I said no, because I could just see my mother whipping me again. I didn't want to get whipped again because my mother was heavy-handed. She left welts and black and blue when she whipped us. I am in New York, yes. It was. I had parents that kept me on the straight and narrow. I went to choir on Wednesday. I went to Sunday school early Sunday. Then I had to go to church after that. When I was in parochial school, we had church in the morning. We had church before lunch. And we had church before we went home, and in between that time, we also had schooling, and we were always saying that. Good night. So, that's what happened. I was whipped all the time. Then one day, my mother said, "Are you stupid enough if your friend sat there and ran off a cliff, you'd run off with him?" I said, "No, I'd kill myself." Then she said, "Why are you trying to?" And so then, but that's how we learned to take responsibilities when we were little. We didn't think about the dangers. I mean, my girlfriend talked me to go into a house, break into a house that was empty. I got whipped for it. Her mother said, "Now you know you can't do that, Kathy." My mother, "You did what?" Belt came out and I was hit. Yes, they need to be whipped and take responsibility. When I was little, I didn't take responsibility for my actions, so my father never hit me. My mother was the punisher in the house. She would punish us. If you do this, you get this. If you do this, you get this. So as we pushed the borders just a little bit, we'd get whipped and we sat back in like this. And that kept us in line. That's what the young people know. My mother would tell me, give me a look, and I didn't say a word. Hello, Sujol. Okay, Bart, you take care. But that's what I went through. It was, and as I got older, if somebody made a suggestion, I wouldn't do it, and then that's how you learn to take responsibility for your actions. So you think. Before, when we were teenagers and we were learning this, we were young teenagers, we'd sit there and say, do I want that or do I want the beating of a lifetime? You know, that's how we looked at it. You had to think in those terms. I mean, I was told never to leave the school grounds, and I was in high school. But Stephen sat there and got a cycle, and he said, "Sandy, come on." I said, "You stay in the park." In Texas, we had a parking lot because at 15, we all drove to school in a car because we're in the country, all right? I said, "But I got to stay on the school grounds because if I'm not, my mother's going to kill me." Please. Dennis drove around in the parking lot, and I'm on the back seat of the cycle. No problem. Then he leaves. I said, "Stephen, I have to get back to that school ground. My mother is going to kill me. Everybody knows me in town. They know you. We are going to be in trouble." Well, he was on a dirt road and he went to step out into the freeway because we had to go to the freeway to step around, to swing around, to come back to the school. He came out too hard and he skid, and we skidded. And we went across one lane and landed in the other lane. Thank God no cars were close by or we would have been killed. And we skidded all the way to the other side, 2-3 lanes over into the dirt. We got up, and because I had sandals on, I had burnt the inside of my right leg from the ankle halfway up to my knee. I burnt the skin off. Well, I had to go back to school. We got back to school. I could kill Stephen for this. They called my mother. I said, "Oh shoot, I'm in for it." And Dennis says, "No, your mother's really cool. She won't get upset with you." I said, "Oh yes, she will. She'll kill me." He said, "No, your mother's good." My mother picked Dennis and I up at school because Dennis's mother was working. Dennis took his boot off. He burnt the inside of his right leg as well. My mother doctored him up, was very kind, even drove him home. And I'm sitting, I know that, as they say, the shit's going to hit the roof. I am in trouble. My mother's going to kill me. And he said, "No, she's going to be fine." Bye for now. Okay, Scott. Hi, Game King. So what happened was my mother came back. She walked to the bedroom, to her bedroom. She had to pass my bedroom and the bathroom, my brother's room, to get to her room, and she came back with the belt. She beat the hell out of me. And I mean, I had welts. I was black and blue. And she said, "I hope you have a scar there for your stupidity." I said, "I didn't drive it. Stephen said he was going to just do the parking lot." She said, "You shouldn't have gotten on the cycle in the first place." But he said we'd stay in the parking lot. Once he left the ground, I told him I had to get back on that ground. I was going to be in trouble. And she said, "Well, you are in trouble." She didn't. She kept hitting me. And Well, I had a big scab. I mean, it was a doozy that I had, but I healed up. I have a very minor scar. It's very hard for anybody to see through the years. It cleared up. And that was the kind of mother I had. She was on top of me all the time. Well, you could look at it like that. They didn't get me back to the school. But my mother, she just threw the belt at me when she was done beating me. And I understand her now because I scared the hell out of her. I could have died. And she beat her fear on my legs and my backside. I was wearing pants and skirts, longer skirts than normal because the short skirts were in at that time. And it was how I learned. And I mean, it happened to me, my younger son. We were in a taxi, and I got him out, and I said, "You stay right here." And then I went to get my other son and bring him out, my older son. And I look and say, "Where is he?" I left him right here. I just turned right here to get the other one out with the groceries, and he's gone. And where is he? He is across the street. Trucks are barreling down that street. He's clean across the street, mind you. And I screamed, oh my God. He came this close to being crushed if a taxi didn't pull in front and take the impact of that truck that almost hit him. I broke my umbrella on him. I couldn't even pick my legs up as I screamed. It's really true when you're really frightened. You can't pick your legs up. I tried to move. From the waist down, nothing would move. I don't care how much I screamed trying to move. I was frozen in place. But when I could move my legs, I broke the umbrella on him. I said, "You ever do that to me again, I'll kill you." Of course, he almost died, but that's what a parent will say. You do it again and I'm going to kill you. He grew up, but I remember that day. Just talking about it, my legs start shaking because I almost lost him. And I mean, he was less than 5 years old. And he decided to walk across the street. He was lucky. He was darn lucky. So I know when you get a beating like that from your parents when you've done something like that, it's their fear that's going on your backside. And you have to deal with it. And that's the truth. It really is. Because children frighten, as they say, the hell out of us. Children will do it all the time. But that was almost as bad as my girlfriend breaking into a house, and the person who had the key to the house, he raped little girls. Why did I listen to Kathy? We hid in a cabinet and prayed. Nothing happened to us, And the guy looked through the cabinet. We knew he was going to get our cabinet. We didn't know we were in trouble until our parents told us what kind of person he was. He had just gotten out of the institution. Oh, listening to Kathy got me in more trouble. Listening to Dennis got me in more trouble. But these are facts that I grew up with. So I think that's why I'm not wild, and I wasn't when I was younger. But children experiment with things, so you have to have a parent who slaps you left and right. So until you learn the boundaries of society. And I did. I learned that my freedoms go as far as my nose. If I go past that, I'm affecting other people. So I learned through all those punishments that I went through that I stay to myself and be careful and gentle with other people on the outside. So if that's a boring story or whatever, it really happened, and that's how I learned. And I was no different than the other children. We all got whipped for things that we thought was innocent, like jumping off the roof. Oh, playing Superman. I was Supergirl. And jumping off the roof. Or the time my brother climbed up on the antenna, and the antenna went like this, and he got down, and we said, oh, we're in trouble. We better be. So we went and decided to go play in somebody else's backyard. And that night, Daddy was trying to get, he said, I can't figure out why we can't get the television on. He said, I'm going to go out there and check the antenna. The antenna was like this. And my father said, who climbed it? We didn't talk. So all three of us got whipped. As my father said, I know it's one of you who did it. Oh, yeah, it was Jimmy who did that one. But anyway, those are things that we did. That's not wild. Those are normal children problems that we go into. But a wild one would be doing vicious things, and we didn't do that. But we were just normal children getting normally into trouble in a small town. And you think country children cannot get in trouble. We find it, believe you me. I wanted to have 6 children. I wanted 3 boys first, and then to have 3 girls so the big brothers could take care of the little girls. And I figured if I had 3 boys first, what the first son wore, the second one would have me hand-me-downs, and the third would have the hand-me-downs. And by then they're rags after he finishes. And that would save me money. We had to do this in home economics, you know. So how could I save money if I wanted to have that many children? So I was doing the math of it, and I figured if you could do stuff like that. But no, 2 sons is enough. So that was it. No, I actually had 3 children. I lost my little girl. She was between the boys. RP, hello. We're just talking to some stupid things that I have done as a child that we got whipped for, my brothers and I. It's okay. I got over it finally. Years ago. I don't know that person. No, okay. So that's what we were talking about. Stupid things that we do. But I wasn't a wild thing. My girlfriends really did stuff. And I said, oh, I wouldn't do that. And in between all the trouble that we got into, we had responsibilities. We had chores we had to do. We answered our parents at my time, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. And the adults could report and tell my mother what we did. Like one time, I don't know if any of y'all listen to me, if any of you have ever seen Some Like It Hot. Now this is a Marilyn Monroe movie. And Kathy taught me to do this. I could have killed her. I really got whipped for this. She got away with it. She was laughing, but I paid the price. We saw the movie. There's a scene when she's walking down, they're in the train, and she's walking down the aisle, right? Marilyn Monroe. So Kathy says, you look young, but you could do that. Why doesn't she do it? No, she says, Sandy can do it. She said, roll your shirt, tie your shirt up here, Sandy. I'm not even 10 years old, right? She said, roll your shorts up. I said, is this high enough? She said, roll them higher. Okay. Now she said, now she is guiding me. She's walking backwards and I'm walking towards her. And she said, now, Sandy, take your hips and do this. Right? And I said, well, how am I doing it? And then one of the kids that I knew saw me and gave me a cat whistle. She said, you're doing great. You walk just like Marilyn Monroe. All of a sudden, her eyes go, oh. I said, what's wrong? She said, I turn around, it's my mother. Oh, boy, I could not get my shorts down. I could not get my shirt put back. And my mother said, get in the car. I said, yeah, I was a little girl. And so what happened was I got home and I told my mother, it was Kathy's idea. She said, do you have to listen to Kathy? And, well, you know I got whipped royally. I was stuck at home. I couldn't go out. I couldn't go to the movies. I had to sit and write 100 and some odd times to behave like a young lady. And I did after that. So when Kathy sat there and said, I got my mother's heels, Sandy. when we go to the movies, we can wear the heels at the movies. Here, put them in your panties under your dress. I said, no, I'm not. He said, yeah, you can get away with it. I said, my mother will know I'm not going to do this. I will get in trouble. Do you hear me, Kathy? Kathy said, oh, you're just a spoiled sport. Kathy's mother talked to her. My mother beat my ass. You know, this is how I looked at it. I didn't want to get hurt anymore. So she said, oh, fine, I'll put them in mine. She was plump, but she really got plump. But she made sure she put a dress on with petticoats, so it really stood out. Yes, we wore petticoats at that time that were starched. So when we sat down, we crouched in church where our parents could hear us. And we went to the show and we wore high heels there. They were low heels. They were only about that high, but you know, it was a big thing being 10 years old. And, you know, she had a big foot. I sort of slipped in mine. I had to put tissues in the front to keep my foot. And when we came home, she said, here, you can take them home. I said, oh, no, I am. My mother will kill me. She said, oh, come off of it. Your mother won't do that. I said, you don't know my mother. I know my mother. My mother will kill me. And she took them home after the movie. But we got to play around for like an hour. You know, we went to go get a soda, walk up the aisle, then go down the aisle and sit back down and pretend we were adults, and we crossed our legs and our little ankles and all these stupid little things being girls. I tell you, some of the things, when I think of some of the things I did, I would sit there and say they're so stupid. If I had a little girl, I have to be on her case every day. Thank God I had little boys. Yes, Joe. I haven't been on for, what, a month? Every time I tried to do some. Yeah, so those are the kinds of things that little girls would get in trouble with. And you shouldn't have a friend who gets you in trouble all the time. I don't think I would have been whipped half as much if I didn't listen to my girlfriends. But they'd get angry and say, you're not my friend if you don't do it. Well, that's the threat that little girls give to little girls. Oh, you're a scaredy cat, huh? I'll show you I'm not a scaredy cat. I'll do it. Then my mother catches me. I'm going to be scared now, you know? But those are things, when I think of them, oh, they're hilarious. But some of the good times and stupid things that children do. Today, they're more interested in smoking, pot, taking drugs and stuff. They don't know how to go outside and play. I mean, we had to make our games, you know, and stuff like that. That was after we did our chores, and we had to take care of the pets at the end of the day as well. We had homework that we had to do as well. We had to get all this stuff done. We didn't have time to sit around. I guess that's why I still cook the way I do. I don't need shortcuts. I'm going to do what I have to do. I still clean. My mother taught me to wax the floors. You get on your hands and knees. Girl, tie your skirt to the side and get down and start doing that floor. A lot of people don't do things like this anymore, and they're surprised they see me cleaning windows and stuff. And I said, but this is something I've done all my life because that's how I was taught. So I don't stop just because of my age. Of course, it takes me longer to clean the house. I can't do it in one day. So, but I still do it and I still keep going. Excuse me, I have the hiccups now. So that's part of some of the things that I've done. If you listen to your grandmother or your mother, if she talks about growing up, I'm sure she'll tell you some of the things we got into. But those two guys who made their own moonshine, they said, come on, Sandy, it's moonshine. I said, you know I can't handle liquor. That's all right, we'll get you home. I said, my mother will kill me. Matter of fact, when I went on a date, the young man had to come to the house. My father had to threaten him while he was cleaning the shotgun. You're going to be good to my little girl. And he had to get me home. But my brother always beat me home and always got locked outside. And my father would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and see me sitting on the porch. And people said, well, why didn't you go to the window? I said, the cat did that and my father shot the window. I do it, I'm going to be dead as a doornail. You know? So I'll just wait until he gets up to get the paper at 4 a.m. in the morning. You know? And that's what I did. So, anything else? Now that you know my escapades as a little girl, at least a few of them. But anyway, at least you know what we're going to be having the week coming up. I hope they have the fish. I'm still trying to do another casserole, and I can't seem to get the fish that I'm looking for. I keep looking, but it's almost impossible to get to them. It must be near 4 o'clock. Because people are coming out from clean water over there. A lot of them. So is there anything else? Yes, you do have it easy today. When I went to school, my mother let us know point blank. She put us all three up in the principal's office. You see that principal? When your father and I are not here, he's your father. He can whip you the way we whip you. Okay. And your teachers are your mothers. You're going to listen to them. And they have the right to punish you. And then when they call me when you get home, you're going to have another one. So we had to learn to listen. Hash brown casseroles, and I'll be there soon. Hash brown casserole. What kind of casserole is that? Is it just potatoes on top of a casserole? Because I have like 9 of them like that. Hi, Connie. Where are you from? So that's why I learned, and the parents could scold me. Anybody could scold me. And Clara, who was our housekeeper, she had a right to wring our ears and punish us just as much. The principal could, the teachers could, everybody could. I mean, it was very hard. But we were well secure, knowing how far we could go without getting hurt. Oh, okay. Indiana. Okay, you're Midwest. North. I would say I had a lot of parents, let's say, but I could do so much, and we stayed in that boundary so until we grew to take responsibilities for everything that we did, and then we became responsible adults. Young people need to have that discipline. I was taught, spare the rod, you spoil the child. You will not be spoiled. We were told that point blank. So the rod, which was the belt that we got, kept us in line. Breakfast casserole. Hash browns. I know hash browns. Sausage and eggs. Yeah, I guess you could do it a small way and stack it up. Yeah, you might be able to do that. Okay. Anything else? Because I've been going on for 38 minutes. And in a little bit, it looks like we're going to have rain too. I can see that, and I'm going to have to take care of the trash. So I guess I'll let all of you go now. So listen, I want you to take care. And I hope to get to you next week as well. If nothing else pops up, which is a problem with me. I have things set. I mean that I'm going to do this. I get the cookbooks out, and something comes up and I have to take off. So let's see if I can do this next Wednesday again about the same time, and we'll keep this flowing. But I'm not sure, okay? So listen, take care. I want all of you to take care. Have a wonderful evening, because we're probably in afternoon, early morning. Well, I'm going towards evening time. So listen, bye-bye. Let's see, how do I turn this off? Let's see. I haven't done it in a bit, and I forget how to do this. Okay. Okay, E.T.